I'm going to stop the recording.
The 88th annual meeting of the Department of Commerce Federal Credit Union is now in session. I'd like to welcome both the members of the staff participants on the Zoom for our first Zoom annual report. And I'd like to call on Evan, who will be presenting. It's been a rough year for most people and for most organizations. Many financial institutions have either gone into stasis or have gone on the rocks a bit. We have not. We are in very good shape and continuing and looking at further growth. With that, I would like to simply welcome our attendee of members and then pass the conversation to our Chief Executive Officer, Evan Clark.
All right, Jim, thank you so much. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, super. We just have to go through a few housekeeping items. I got a question or two from the members as they signed on. And if you have other questions, just feel free to put them in the question and answer section, and we'll be happy to answer them. And then the chat feature also, if you want to make a motion, you can do it that way, or you can just shout out, either way. And we'll have polls for voting. Those will pop up. And you'll see those pop up on your screen. And then the meeting documents can be found in the chat feature as well. Amelia just put them in there. So those are the housekeeping items. And then I think we can move on to the meeting itself. Okay. Jim's called the meeting to order. And then we need to see if there's a declaration of a quorum. And I think there is, Mr. Secretary. We've got 15 people, so we've got a quorum.
Thank you.
Yeah, and if somebody could we get a motion to approve without reading the minutes of the 87th annual meeting?
I so move.
Okay, and could we get a second of that?
Second.
Yeah, we've got a second from Mr. Calderon as well. Okay, and I think unless there are unreadinesses, we can move forward then.
I think we can move forward.
Yeah.
No one has charged in with the request to.
I'm sorry. We want to launch.
Yeah, go ahead with the next slide. We're ready. Okay, Jim, your report's first. So if you could give us a couple of words on what's going on.
Our assets have grown considerably over the past year. I don't have an immediate piece of paper, but if Mazood could put something up on there. We continue to have some of the most competitive CD rates in the nation, and I think the high yield performance club members or members of the association are very happy with the services that they seem to be providing. We do now have the credit union open as a physical facility, but it's an organization that has gone electronic in many respects, providing our services to members through their use of their computers or iPads or comparable devices. And I think we're moving on in that direction.
Super.
Okay. There's the statement now over the.
Yeah, is it the chairman's, is it the treasurer's report next? I think it is, Jim.
I think it is, yes. Mr. Treasurer, Mr. Drafton, can you?
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
All right. I can give the forward treasurer's report, or it can be flashed on the screen, I believe. You've got the statement of financial conditions. I will just mention that, as Jim has kind of indicated, that because the interest rates were extremely low during the year, it was a difficult year financially. However, we were able to come through in pretty good shape. Our assets grew, for example, by $30.17 million. That's a 5.6% growth. Our outstanding loan balances grew. They increased by 8.19%. All our deposit products also grew, led by our checking account, which grew 23.5%. Certificates grew by 3%. Money market account grew by 8%, and a savings account grew by a great 14%. So our members were saving money this year. Part of that was because the credit union offers some of the best rates in the nation. Now our investments, they shrunk by almost 10% to end the year at 110, almost $111 million. That's because the money is going into mortgages. The mortgage money serves you, the member, much better than investments do. On the other side of the ledger, the operating expenses, the ratio was 2.7% for 2020, and that is lower than the previous year when it was 2.8%. So it shows we grew our assets faster than we grew our expenses, which we hope to do and continue to doing in the future. As a result of all this, we added $889,000 to our reserves. And that is my report.
All right, super. Thank you, Don. What's next on the agenda? Is it the credit committee, Masood?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. Jeff, if you could briefly tell us what's going on in the world of loans.
Sure. Thank you very much. As you guys know, last year was very challenging for the credit union, but the lending area really stepped up to serve our members. We originated 2,578 new loans and lines of credit for our members, 2,111 consumer loans, 467 first mortgages. As a result, we grew our portfolio about 25% year over year to $339.5 million. And overall, even with a lot of the economic turmoil, our loan delinquency rate declined again, and we stood at 0.12% by the end of December. A lot of that really has to do with how the credit union stepped up to assist our membership that was affected by COVID. We offered skip pays on a lot of consumer loans up to six full payments, and mortgage forbearances of 3 to 12 months without any fees or negative reporting to the credit bureaus. As a result, we wound up granting over 1,000 consumer loan skip-a-pays and mortgage forbearances on over $22 million worth of our loans. We also had offered our members special emergency hardship loans for folks that needed extra cash, provided deferred payments and very, very low interest rates. So I feel we helped our members weather the storm and put them on a solid footing for coming out of the pandemic this year.
Super. Thank you, Jeff. And Jeff, it's very interesting because we helped our members, and because we helped them, our delinquency and charge-offs was low, and they in turn helped us by making payments when they could, and we helped them out. So it was kind of a win-win. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, very much so. Thank you.
All right. I think, is the supervisory committee next? I think it is. Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Brian, I think it's your turn now.
Thanks, Evan. Just want to let you know that the supervisory committee has been very active throughout the year in working with the board. One thing that's not on the slide is that you should realize that to assure accurate reporting, which we have, in addition to our outside auditors of Neerman, Maynard Velez, Evan has also hired an inside auditor to keep track of things on a daily basis. We worked on a charter. The Neerman Maynard Velez folks are, by contract, the inside auditor is via charter, and she follows that. She's our chief officer when it comes to auditing now, and she's working closely with the supervisory committee. So I just want to let the members know that you can be sure that there is accurate financial reporting going on in the credit union. That's all I have, Ev.
Oh, super. Thank you so much, Brian. Let's see what else. Oh, it's my turn now. Okay. Well, first off, I want to thank all of you for your patronage, and I want to say that 2020 was like Don, our treasurer, said, was extraordinarily challenging for us, and it was challenging for everyone in the country. And fortunately, in 2021, we've made a big turnaround at the credit union. We're going to have a strong bottom line. Our assets are going to grow again, and we're really setting ourselves up very well for 2022. And I'm going to answer a question that was posed. I think it was Henry, one of our vice chairs, that posed this. He asked this question: what's the outlook for 2022? And I'm going to give you a couple thoughts on that. I think that, my family and I have gone on vacation to several locations. And so I'm going to give you a little anecdotal evidence, and then we'll build on that a little bit. We went to Boston, and we've gone to New York many times, and we spent a little time in Seattle. And in all three of those cities, which are major cities in the United States, we saw much lower foot traffic than we'd normally see pre-pandemic. And we saw 10 to 15% of the businesses that were still closed. And when you walk in downtown DC, if you live in DC, you can see the same thing. And so I think that, moving forward on a macro level, we're going to have some of the challenges from the pandemic still because of the Delta variant, and there's still some unanswered questions. But I think that the economic stuff is going to still take a while to really get to a pre-pandemic level. But that said, I think going forward, you're going to see interest rates start to rise a little bit. They'll start to rise on the long-term stuff like mortgages. You'll see mortgage rates probably go up before you start to see savings rates go up. But ultimately, I think that sometime in late 2022 or sometime in 2023, my guess is that the Fed will start to raise rates. That's what they're indicating to us, at least. So that's the macro of what we can look forward to. It's the economy is going to move along, but it's still not going to be up to where it was pre-pandemic. For the credit union, I'm very, very excited about what we're doing. We're bringing on several new lines of business, and all of those lines of business will continue to contribute to our bottom line, and they'll also contribute to our ability to give our members really competitive savings rates. Right now, our base savings rate on our 3, 4, and 5-year CDs is the very best in the country. And our rate to our gold members on all of the other CDs are the best in the country. And so that's always been a tradition at our credit union to be in the top part of the rate spectrum, but now we're absolutely at the top of the ladder, and we're really proud that we're able to do that. And that's really a testament to the staff of the credit union. They've all done a marvelous job of helping our members get through this pandemic and helping us figure out ways to contribute more to the bottom line and contribute to members' ability to save at rates. I wish the rates were higher, but unfortunately the market doesn't allow us to do that. But hopefully in a year and a half or so, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the rates substantially begin to increase. At least that's the indication that the Fed is telling us. And the people at the Fed are sure a lot smarter than we are. So I think that's my report. So Masood or whoever's in charge of the slides, I guess we're ready for, we got new business. And the new business is election from the nominating committee. And Nilda, would you give us a report? Is Nilda there?
I believe she's logged in as a participant. You may have to
Yeah.
grant her access.
Oh, okay.
She might be muted.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, there we
I'm
go.
here.
Okay, go ahead,
Sorry.
Nilda.
So we had 6 board members that were up for election. The members are Henry Masisco, Roger Gibbleson, Barbara Coney, Skip Jones, Joe Cuba, and Michelle Johnson, and they all have agreed to serve another 2 years.
Wonderful. Could we have a motion from somebody to accept the report of the nominating committee and elect these folks?
Evan, this is Brian. I move that we accept the nominating committee slate and vote for the people on the slide.
Oh, super. Thank you, Brian. Can I get a second?
This is Don Trafton. I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Don. And are there any unreadinesses? Okay, hearing none, the slate of directors that was presented by the nominated committee is accepted. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for the next slide, I guess. Okay, it's time for questions and answers. Like I said, Henry gave us that really great question. If you have any other questions, feel free to post them in the chat room. Okay, I'll give you a couple pieces of insight while we wait for people to think about questions. Our branch at HCHB is open, but there are very strict vaccination and masking guidelines. You have to show proof that you are vaccinated, and you have to fill out a certificate of that proof, or you have to show that you've had a negative COVID test within the last, I think it's 48 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So if you want to visit our branch at HCHB, the Commerce Building, it is open. The branch at Silver Spring was open, but now GSA is doing construction there. But we're very hopeful that by sometime in late October or early November, that will open up. And we don't know when our F Street branch will open up, but we're hoping that it will soon. But we also continue to serve our members via phone. And we also like you to drop us emails, and we'll answer your emails as quickly as we possibly can. So we've got a number of ways of interacting with our members. I just wish that we could, I wish we could all have a physical presence, because it's just sad that we can't. But that's part of the new world with this pandemic, I guess. Well, I don't see any questions, so I guess what we can do is move for adjournment. Unless there's unreadinesses, let's go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And I guess I need to ask for we approved the minutes already, so we need to ask for a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting.
You don't need a second to adjourn.
Okay, Henry, can you make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, Henry, thank you so much. Are there any unreadinesses? Okay, well, thank you all very much for attending the annual meeting, and with any hope at all, we'll get to have an annual meeting in person next year. Bye-bye, everyone.
Right.
Goodbye.
Right.
Hey, Frank Eggert, I saw you on the list.
You're muted, Masood.